In the heart of Scranton, Pennsylvania, nestled between the brick buildings and bustling streets, was a quaint cafe called the Morning Brew. It was a beloved spot for locals, known for its rich coffee and warm pastries. However, after a recent break-in, the cafe owner, Sarah, felt a wave of unease wash over her. The incident had rattled her and her customers, and she knew she had to take action to protect her establishment. Determined to restore a sense of safety, Sarah decided to install security cameras around the cafe. It was a move she hoped would deter future thieves and reassure her regulars. After the installation, she felt a sense of relief wash over her, believing that she was taking control of the situation. But the following nights, as Sarah closed up shop and reviewed the footage, she began to notice something strange. At precisely 3:33 a.m. every night, a man appeared on the security camera, standing outside the front door. His face was obscured by the shadows, but his silhouette was unmistakable. He never moved, just stood there, staring at the entrance of the cafe. At first, Sarah brushed it off as a coincidence. Perhaps it was just a passerby or someone looking for a late-night snack. But as the nights turned into days, the man's presence began to gnaw at her. Each morning, she would review the footage, her heart racing as the clock struck 3:33 a.m. and the familiar figure appeared. The man stood still as the world around him continued without pause. Night after night, he remained a silent sentinel, watching, waiting. It was unsettling, and soon whispers began to circulate among the staff. "Do you think he's planning to break in again?" one employee asked, her voice laced with anxiety. "I don't know," Sarah replied, her brow furrowing. "But it's definitely creepy." As the 11th night approached, the tension in the cafe began to build. Sarah found herself unable to shake the feeling that there was something ominous about the man. She told herself to stop being paranoid. After all, he hadn't done anything, he was merely a figure in the darkness. But the unease continued to fester. On the 12th night, Sarah decided to stay late, hoping to catch a glimpse of the man in person. She brewed herself a strong cup of coffee and settled in front of the computer screen, the security camera feed displayed in front of her. The minutes ticked by, and as 3:33 a.m. approached, her heart raced with anticipation. At exactly 3:33 a.m., the man appeared again, standing outside the cafe, just as he had for the past 11 nights. But this time, Sarah felt a surge of determination. She picked up her phone and dialed the police, her voice trembling slightly. "Hello, I'd like to report a suspicious person," she said, her eyes glued to the screen. "He's been outside my cafe every night for the past 11 nights." "Stay calm, ma'am. Can you describe him?" the dispatcher asked. But as she spoke, something shifted on the screen. The man moved, slowly and deliberately, and to Sarah's horror, he began to walk toward the door. "Wait, he's coming in," she exclaimed, her heart pounding in her chest. The dispatcher urged her to stay on the line and lock the door, but it was too late. The man stepped inside the cafe, his presence filling the space with an unsettling energy. He stood there, just inside the threshold, watching her intently. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine as she locked eyes with him through the camera feed. "Stay there," the dispatcher said urgently. "Help is on the way." But the man didn't move. He simply stood there, staring. The seconds felt like hours as Sarah's heart raced. She couldn't tear her eyes away from the screen, her breath quickening in her chest. The footage continued to record, capturing the strange encounter in its entirety. The clock ticked forward, and finally, at 3:34 a.m., the man turned and walked back outside, disappearing into the night as mysteriously as he had come. When the police arrived, they found the cafe untouched. Sarah was still on the phone, her voice shaky as she recounted the events. The officers searched the area but found no sign of the man. "Are you sure he entered the cafe?" one officer asked, glancing around. "Yes, I saw him," Sarah insisted, her heart still racing. "He was right there." The officers reassured her, but they could find no evidence that anyone had been inside. They reviewed the security footage, and although it confirmed Sarah's account of the man standing in the cafe, there was no sign of him moving or engaging in any other activity. It was as if he had simply appeared and then vanished. Feeling a mix of confusion and fear, Sarah decided to review the footage again later that night. She needed to understand what had happened. After the police left, She closed the cafe and sat in front of the monitor, her heart pounding as she rewound the video. But as she watched the footage, she noticed something strange. The man appeared to be looking directly at the camera, not just standing still. It was as if he was aware of being recorded, and his eyes seemed to bore into her soul. When she reached the end of the footage, Sarah felt a chill settle in her bones. The last image of the man lingered on the screen, his expression unreadable. She shut off the computer, feeling a sense of dread wash over her. The following morning, Sarah returned to the cafe, feeling a weight of anxiety pressing down on her. As she opened up for the day, her mind was still racing with thoughts of the man. Had he been watching her? What did he want? She walked to the bathroom, hoping to wash her face and shake off the lingering fear. As she stepped inside, she noticed something in the mirror that made her blood run cold. There, written in what looked like steam or condensation, was a single word: soon. Panic surged through her as she backed away, her heart racing. What did it mean? Who was this man, and what did he want from her? She rushed out of the bathroom, her mind racing as she tried to piece together the bizarre events of the past few nights. She grabbed her phone and called the police again, her voice shaky as she recounted what she had found in the mirror. The dispatcher assured her that they would send someone over, but as the minutes ticked by, Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The cafe remained quiet, the usual morning rush absent. The air felt heavy with anticipation, and every creak of the building sent chills down her spine. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to happen. When the police arrived, they searched the cafe once more but found nothing amiss. "Just try to stay calm," one officer said, attempting to reassure her. "We'll keep an eye on the area." But Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that the man was still watching, even if he wasn't there. Each night, as the clock struck 3:33 a.m., she found herself glued to the security camera feed, waiting for the man's return. Days turned into weeks, and the strange occurrences continued. The same man reappeared outside the cafe, night after night, always at the same time. He never moved, but every time, Sarah felt that he was watching her closely, waiting for something. Finally, one night, Sarah made a decision. She would confront the man, find out what he wanted, and face the fear that had been haunting her for so long. As the clock ticked toward 3:33 a.m., she steeled herself and prepared to face whatever awaited her outside the cafe. When the moment arrived, she opened the door and stepped outside, heart pounding in her chest. The man stood before her, just as he always had. But this time, she wouldn't back down. "What do you want?" she shouted, her voice echoing in the stillness. The man finally turned to her, and as he did, a chilling smile crept across his face. "Soon," he whispered, and in that moment, the world around her began to fade away, leaving nothing but darkness. In that instant, Sarah realized that the true meaning behind the word written in the mirror was not just a warning, it was a promise. She had entered a realm where time had no meaning, and the man would always be there, watching, waiting for the moment when she would truly understand the depths of his intent.